E. Quadrant words. A person who comes with the a person who comes from the E employee quadrant might say, I am looking for a safe, secure job with good pay and excellent benefit. S. Quadrant words. A person who comes from the S or self-employed quadrant might say, my rate is $35 per hour, or my normal commission rate is 6% of the total price, or I can seems to find people who want to work and do the right job, or I have got more than 20 hours into this project. B. Quadrant words. A person operating out of the B or business owner quadrant might say, I am looking for a new president to run my company. I. Quadrant words. Someone operating out of the I or investor quadrant might say, "In is my cash flow based on an internal rate of return or net rate of return?" Words are tools. Once my rich dad knew who the person he was interviewing was at the core, at least for the moment he would know what they were really looking for, what he had to offer, and what words to use when speaking to them. Rich Dad always said words are powerful tool. Rich Dad constantly reminded his son and me of this. If you want to be a leader of people, then you need to be a master of words. So one of the skills necessary to be a great B is to be a master of words, knowing which words work on which kind of people. He trained us to first listen carefully to the words a person uses, then we would know which words we should use and when to use them in order to respond to them in the most effective way. Rich Dad explained one word may excite one type of person while that same word would completely turn off another person. For example, the word risk might be exciting to a person in the I quadrant while evoking total fear to someone in the E quadrant. To be great leader, Rich Dad stressed that we first had to be great listener. If you did not listen to the words a person used, you would not be able to feel their soul. If you did not listen to their soul, you would never know to whom you were talking. Core difference. The real the reason he would say hear their words, feel their soul is because behind the words a person choosing are the core values and a core difference of that individual. The following are some of the generalities that separate people in one quadrant from those in another. The E employ. When I hear the word secure or benefit, I get sense of who they might be at the core. The word secure is a word often used in response to the emotion of fear. If a person feels fear, then the need for security is often a commonly used phrase for someone who comes predominantly from the E quadrant. When it comes to money and job, there are many people who simply hate the feeling of fear that comes with economic uncertainty, hence the desire for security. The word benefit means people would also like some kind of additional reward, and that is spell out a defined and assured extra compensation such as a healthcare or retirement plan. The key is that they want to feel secure and see it in writing. Uncertainty does not make them happy. Uncertainty does The internal working say, I'll give you this and you promised to give me that in return. They want their fear satisfied with some degree of certainty, so they seek security and a strong agreement when it comes to employment. They are accurate when they say, I am not that interested in money. For them, the idea of security is often more important than money. Employee can be president of companies or janitors of company. It is not so much that what they do, but the contractual agreement they have with the person or organization that hires them. The as self-employed, these are the people who want to be their own boss or they like to do their own things. I call this group the do it yourself. Often when it comes to the subject of money, a hardcore as does not like to have his or her income be dependent on other people. In other words, if as words work hard, they expect to get paid for their work. Those who are else do not like having the amount of money they earn dictated by someone else or by a group of people who might not work as hard as they do. If they work hard, pay them well. They also understand that if they do not work hard, then they don't deserve to be paid much. When it comes to money, they have fiercely independent soul, the emotion of fear. So when the E or employee often will respond to the fear of not having money by seeking security, the S often will respond differently. The money in this quadrant respond to fear not by seeking security but by taking control to the situation and doing it on their own. That is why I call the S group the do it yourself group. When it comes to fear and financial risks, they want to take the bull by the horn. In this group, we find well-educated professionals who spend years in schools such as doctors, lawyers, and dentists. Also in the S group are people who took educational path others than or in addition or in addition to traditional school. In this group are direct commission salespeople, real estate agent, for instance, as well as a small business owner such as retail shopkeepers, cleaner, restaurant consultant, therapist, travel agent, car mechanics, plumber, carpenters, preachers, electricians, hairstyles, and artists. This group's favorite songs would be either Nobody Does It Better or I Did It My Way. Self-employed people are often hardcore perfectionists. They often want to do something exceptionally well in their mind. They do not think anyone else does it better than they can do it. So they really do not trust anyone else to do it the way they like it, the way they think is the right way in many respects. They are true artists with their own style and methods of doing things. And this is why we hire them. If you hire a brain surgeon, you want that brain surgeons to have had years of training experience, but most importantly, you want this brain surgeon to be a perfectionist. The same goes for a dentist, hairstyle, marketing consultant, plumber, electrician, tarot card reader, lawyers, or corporate trainers. You, as the client hiring this person, want someone who is the best. For this group, money is not the most important thing about their work. Their independence, the freedom to do things their way, and to be respected as expert in their field as much more important than mere money. When hiring them, it is best to tell them what you want done and then leave them alone to do it. They do not need or want supervision. If you meddle too much, they will simply walk off the job and tell you to hire someone else. The money really does not come first, their independence does. This group often has a hard time hiring other people to do what they do simply because in their mind nobody is up to the task, which cause this group to often say it's hard to find good help these days. And also, if this group trains someone to do what they do, that newly trained person often ends up leaving to do their own things and be their own boss and do things their way and to have a chance to express their individually. Many as types of hesitant to hire and train other people because once trained they often end up as their competition. This in turn keeps them working harder and doing things on their way. The B business owner, this group of people would could almost be the opposite of the S. Those who are true B like to surround themselves with smart people from all four categories, ESV and I. Unlike the S, who who does not like to delegate work because no one could be do it better. The true B likes to delegate. The true motto of B is why do it yourself when you can hire someone to do it for you and they can do it better. Henry Ford fit in this model. Henry Ford fit in this mold. As one popular story goes, a group of so-called intellectuals came by to condemn Ford for being ignorant. They claim he really did not know much, so Ford invited them into his office and challenged them to ask him any question, and he would answer it. So this panel assembled around America's most powerful industrialists and began to ask him questions. Ford listened to their question, and when they were through, he simply reached for several phones on his desk and called in some of his bright assistants and asked them to give the panel the answer they sought. He ended by informing the panel that he would rather hire smart people who went to school to come up with answers so he could leave his mind clear to do more important tasks like thinking. Once the quote's credited to Ford goes, thinking is the hardest work there is. One of the quote credited to Ford goes, thinking is the hardest work there is. That is why so few people engage in it. Leadership is bringing out the best in people. My rich dad idol was Henry Ford. He had me read books about people like Ford and John D. Rockefeller, the founder of Standard Oil. Rich dad constantly encouraged his son and me to learn the essence of leadership and the technical skills of business. In retrospect, I understand now that many people may have one or the other, but to be successful, be businessman, you really do need to have both. I also now realize that both skills can be learned. There is a science to business and leadership as well as an art to business and leadership. For me, both are lifelong studies. When I was a boy, my rich dad gave me a children's book entitled Stone Soup, written in 1947 by Marcia Brown and still available today from leading bookstore. He had me read this book to begin my training as a leader in business. Leadership, Rich Dad said, is the ability to bring out the best in people, so he trained his son and me in the technical skills necessary to become successful in business. Technical skills such as reading financial statements, marketing, sales, accounting, management, production, and negotiation. And he really stressed that we learn to work with and lead people. Rich Dad always said the technical skills of business are easy, the hard part is working with people. As a reminder, I still read Stone Soup today, for I personally have a tendency to be a tyrant instead of a leader when things do not go my way.